Alright, guys. Alright, I was rewatching the Starfield Direct. It's something I like to do just to go through in case I missed something. I did see it at the time, but I went to put a pin in it, like a mental pin, and I kind of forgot about the mental pin. So, it wasn't really a pin, was it? But anyway, do you see what I see on the screen? Now, in case you're wondering what this is 29 minutes and 40 seconds into the presentation. This is a photo or a image of the star map. Right? Looks cool. Looks great. Yeah, Star Citizen, take note. Star maps are great. What do you see? I'll give you 10 seconds. Right, I'll give you a hint. Look at the sun. Look at the sun and look at what is around and below the sun. Now, if I had to guess, I would say it's a gravity well. Now, this obviously makes sense because the sun obviously does inert gravity on planets and stuff like that, right? Okay. Now, obviously, we don't see that necessarily around the planets, but then, obviously, that said, the sun is far bigger than any planet, so, that might be why. But what does this mean for the game? Let's presume, and we're going to theorycraft a little bit here, let's presume that is a gravity well, right? What effects would that have on your ship? What can you do with a gravity well, game engine-wise? If that is a gravity well, as I think it is, that means they might be able to actually put black holes in the game. Yeah, hot take. So black hole is obviously something that is far more gravity dense than a sun, and it's far more gravity onto objects than the sun would, right? If they are able to put in gravity wells, they might be able to put black holes into the game. Now, what effects would this have on the ship? Well, it depends on the gravity well. So, for example, the sun, if you were too close to it, you obviously might get sucked into it, for example. Planet-wise, if you're obviously up in too close to the planet, then obviously, you can sort of like gravity lock yourself into the planet around its geosynchronous and stuff like that. But obviously, when they got too close to the sun, you would presumably get like pulled into it, presuming that you'd obviously got close enough and blah, 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 blah. But with a black hole, well, yeah. You could actually make it so that the gravity is affected at a far, far larger radius and at also more powerful effect. So if you could control that through XYZ axis and stuff like that, right? And inertiate and control gravity at that point. You can actually make it so that that point as small as a dot, but also enacts, say, 10 times the amount of gravity. I presume the gravity amount is probably a slider with a number variant, which is how they normally do this stuff. And what you could probably do is just put that slider right up to the max. And, well, how would that affect your ship? Well, if you're flying around and you came across said gravity well, then look, at the end of the day, you could possibly go through and start getting dragged into it. Like we know that they do have grav drives in the game. So obviously gravity is a thing in reality as well as in lore. The grav drive system maybe won't work. Maybe it won't allow you to leave because of the high amounts of gravity. You'd maybe have to get far away from gravity bodies to enact the grav drive because it might be unstable and failing to load in game, of course. But at the end of the day, it also just might be as simple as the fact that if you got too close to a microsingularity or a singularity, that all of a sudden your ship starts getting pulled into it. Now, obviously, this is depending on, game map size and stuff like that, right? Obviously, if you've got, like, say, for example, we know there's at least 1,000 different planets. say there's, say, an average of, say, 3 planets or 4 planets a system, you're probably looking at around roughly 300 and something systems, probably. You might find that one of those systems is actually just empty and is actually just a black hole. It's definitely interesting, and it definitely opens the possibilities to what you could possibly do with that. You know, like maybe there's the black hole in the system that's eating up the planet, but hey, that planet that has been eaten up is also vastly rich in materials. So hey, maybe you need to go down there and get those vastly important materials, but you also got to fight the gravity as well. And you know, it's like a risk and reward system. So obviously at the end of the day, I'm actually really interested to see what happens and if this is actually in the game. Because if it is, it's look, there's obviously been games before that have had like stuff like this. Obviously, to give you an idea, Halion was full Newtonian physics. Star Citizen has semi-Newtonian physics. Elite Dangerous, I believe, had black holes and gravities and gravity wells and stuff in it. They also had suns and stuff as well. So it's not like this is new territory. But it definitely makes it interesting to find out what you can sort of, like what happens if you get too close to the sun. Can you go to the sun? And if you can, does your ship all of a sudden get sucked in towards it? Do you sort of have to turn and burn at full power and divert all power to the drives or the energy drives or the engines to sort of get away from the gravity well? Like, this could happen?
Diverting power.
We are now moving forward.
It's not going to be good enough. We're losing hull integrity. We've got a hull breach.
Now, obviously, that's Stargate, but that's what happened to a ship if it got too close to a gravity, a microsingularity or singularity. So, you know, like, is your ship going to take damage? It's all very, very interesting. But like I say, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Do you think that I might be reading too much into this? Or do you think that's actually a gravity well? Do you think that they're actually going to put like gravity wells and microsingularities and singularities into the game, where you might actually end up getting like a risk and reward danger sort of buff thing for harvesting a planet that might be around a black hole? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we will see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.